Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Welcome to the audio version of the Cowpole Podcast. I don't know. I don't think I might put it on YouTube. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to, wherever it goes to on the Cowpole Podcast, it's Wednesday. It's the third month. It's the 26th day of 2025. And we're live in the car here on Spreaker.com. So I'm going to put it up. So I have spoke about this radio station here in town, KQ92. I did videos on it. I've talked about Tom Bernard. I don't hate the guy, but became a raging idiot. And the guy they have on now, Counting Crows guy on, what the hell his name is, the drummer, and that chick I've never heard before. And they got rid of Brian Zepp, and, you know, it's KQ hasn't played a rock and roll song in 20 years. I grew up in Minnesota. I've listened to KQ probably since I was 12. Let's just go 48 years, give or take, whatever it is, okay? I don't think it's that tough to own a radio station, a classic rock. KQ has never really played new stuff unless they come on. 89.3, the current, plays local stuff. But if I understand, I saw the article right as I speak to you. KQ92 here in town has got no DJs. They're going to come up with a new format on the second day of April, 2025. And I've said before, it's not that tough to have a morning show. It's not. It's really, really not. You have someone like Tom Bernard, even myself, who is a Minnesotan. I do it for $70,000 a year, whatever. Talk about Minnesota. We have 93X here. The boys in the band, they got rid of what? Wapple? You know, you only need 3 people at the most. It's like on a bench for a hockey game. You don't need 4, you need 3. Minimum 2, okay? Real radio is still a lot viable, but if I was going to move to New York City or some small town in Pennsylvania somewhere, wherever I'm going to move to, I'm going to know what's going on in that area so I can connect with my listeners. I'm going to also go out and meet my people. Nick here in town, 93X. Doesn't like going to places like that. Tom Bernard didn't like going to 93X. I don't care. Going to Vegas, excuse me. These people are your customers. Just like if you're a rock and roll guy. The guy that passed away from Badfinger. He died at Methodist Hospital in Hopkins. He would sign autographs at the very end. Okay? People walked up to the guy. Appreciate it. You know, I remember Cal Ripken. You Cal Ripken? He goes, yes, I am. What's your name? We chatted. Cal Ripken Jr. Shook his hand. We talked at the airport. He was more than accommodating. But I guess they have no disc jockeys, and there's been that they're going to have a sports, what do you want to call it, a sports content, I guess. Well, you can compete with 100.3 here, K-Fan, the personal ass liquor. You get a couple guys who know what they're talking about, local guys. Go get he's in KSTP with, he's on the morning, what the hell's his name again? He's the lawn snapper for used to be, the Star. Okay, Mike Morris would be really good. There's plenty of guys in this town that you could get that's not going to lick the undercarriage of the owners. They had a sports station like 15 years ago, and they got mad, the Minnesota Twins, because he was ripping the Poleheads, who, just like the Gophers here, the football team here in town, you know, the pumpkin ball team, excuse me. I'm driving my car, so I'm kind of just going off the top of my head here. They're hired a local guy, which they always do. It's always if you were born here and you spent 2 days here, you're one of us, right? They always get a local angle. It's not that tough to talk sports. Jeff Dubé making poor choices with drugs. He'd be a great guy, but you can't trust a guy with this problem. But you got K-Fan in the morning, where what's his name just screams and talks about his music the whole time. They play music in the background and they scream. Hockey, okay? I mean, nice guy, but. You know, they're all bought and paid for by the Minnesota Vikings. The personal ass liquor, Paul Allen, the voice of the Vikings. Barrero's good. He mixes in a lot of stuff. But I'm not surprised that Cumulus Radio is trying to regroup. Then, you know, because I said that drummer, nice. I think it was the Black Crowes. Nice guy, but as soon as he was voice activated, you bring up, let's just say, because he's from Tennessee. Wherever you bring up a city, hey, talk about Nebraska. Well, I remember when our Black Crowes was there. Everything led to that. Tom Bernard was good at because he grew up in Minnesota. He was a Minnesotan. He loved Minneapolis. His mother loved Minneapolis. When his mother died, then that became no one to keep him grounded, just like Tiger Woods. His dad died, and that was his main guy. Same thing with what the hell is his Mike Tyson. When you don't have that grounding, and he cheated on his wife, cheated on the game of golf. Now he's dating Trump's son's ex-wife. Looks just like the splitting image of his ex-wife, right? Who was smart and said, guess what? But be interested to see what they do. It's a very viable morning show here in town. People want it. It's the comfort food. You're going to have your commercial turkey sandwich. It's your breakfast. You're going to have your favorite breakfast sandwich, your cup of joe. You listen to them from the morning crew, whatever it may be. They talk about news, weather, the sports, what's going on. What's going on in this, and you have fun. You joke around. You keep it above the barrel, but we'll see what happens with KQ. I've done videos on it. I did a video on the monetized channel about when they fired Zepp, and I just, I think it'd be interesting to see where Cumulus Radio, they need to be bought, and they need to get good. I grew up in the old days with good radio guys. Knew what they're talking about. Mishke was really good on KSTP. KSTP, they sold out to the 4-letter curse, which is the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Stupid. Just dumb. Selling out. But you could give KFan a run for the money if they're going to do. They did have an AM station that Tom Bernard pimped his podcast on, and no one really cares about his podcast. He's changing something on it because there's 6.5 million things to listen to because people still like. There's radios in cars. Okay, there are radios in cars. Okay. People like local AM, FM radio, but people can tell them what's going on. Small town USA. I drive up north. You listen to local country stations. There's a 92.5 station up north that's really good in the morning. The two guys just BSing, having a good time. They had a syndicated guys on 105. They got rid of him. It was too bad. Now you got some really weirdo on there. But you got to have disc jockeys that he or she that know what they're talking about. And they've lost that ability on KQ. They don't play any new music. Bruce Springsteen's Letter to You, great album. I've heard one song. That was on The Current. Then Rolling Stones put out a blues album. They don't play that. They used to play the albums at night, King Biscuit Flower Hour, Rockline. They just, they had disc jockeys that were cool. The KQ Morning Show was funny, but it became demean. He got rid of Terry Train, which was stupid. They should have brought her back with Zepp and kept Zepp and her in the morning. And one other person, that'd be it. I'd hire tomorrow if they were smart. Bring back Zepp. Bring back her in the morning. And get rid of that idiot. Nice man, but he's not one of us. Has no idea about Minnesota. Doesn't have any idea of the history except coming in and playing concerts. They had that one chick who sounded like she's 15 years old on there. What the hell is her name? But, no, I just, interesting to see what KQ does on April 2nd, 2025. The one guy in the afternoon, they got rid of Wally Walker, who was a great host. The one lady in the afternoon is really, really nice lady, great voice. She's a sweetheart. So I don't know. They haven't said anything. I saw it online. I think the Tribune will talk about it probably in today's paper. I always read the next day's paper in the Tribune. So it's been kind of hush hush, but we'll see what happens with that. And, it's too bad people don't know how to run radio stations anymore. Got to play some, in the classic rock behavior. Kiss has got so many good songs besides Rock and Roll All Night. Tears Are Falling, Love Gun. Let's get into some deep tracks like 97.1 used to be. They used to be so good. They played all kinds of deep stuff. They got away from their roots. But you got to have disc jockeys that are funny and willing to go out and meet people. Go to local Cub Foods, whatever. Take the show to Vegas for the weekend. Maybe go to Reno. If they're so, what's his name? He loves baseball over there at 93X. Nick, go for a whole week during the baseball season. Promote the Twinkies. He doesn't like Wisconsin, but he goes to one of their casinos and does a show. Maybe go to Canterbury and have your get together down there at Canterbury. But you're spending your money over to Wisconsin. But we'll see what happens. What goes on with KQRS 92 changing format, and what they decide to do. If they did a sportsman, that'd be interesting. But you got to have somebody that knows the hell they're talking about. Mike Morris would be an epic guy to have that if they're going to do that. He'd be a great morning guy. He'd be a good morning host in the morning. Him, Zepp, and Terry Train would be epic, because I know she's going into the Radio Hall of Fame. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with all this behavior going on. I don't know. It's interesting how radio is letting people go, and it is what it is, and competing with podcasting. There's 6.5, but your morning shows kicks off people's days, and they want to hear their lovely and talented cup of joe. What do you want? Their local food, okay? So I don't know. I don't understand that what they're doing with them, and what the whole 9 yards in the radio business, and just bringing in some guy, a drummer who no one knew, and they should have kept him in there in the first place, Zepp, and bring in Terry Tran at the beginning. And I can't express enough that people still want to listen to morning radio. What's his name out there at the Steel Toll Chart Show, right? Aaron Imholt. He could be a tolerable guy, but then again, he's a prejudiced little pig. Lastman went out took his job out in St. Cloud. They need to push that signal east to compete with KQ. But I could manage those two stations tomorrow, and it's not that tough. It's like hiring good cooks for a restaurant. You're in the sports business. You hire good people to represent your company. I saw a thing as Dallas Stars are getting kickbacks for hockey tournaments in Dallas, pimping people with their children. That's wrong. Dallas Stars need to fire all three of those people for the behaviors of taking advantage of children. Right? So I just don't think it's that tough. I just don't. I mean, it's make people want to listen to your radio station by being funny and making people laugh. That's why 93X is popular. They have people texting in stuff. They bring on Passel. Not Jeff Passel. No, Randy Shaver. Excuse me. They bring on what's that one lady? What the hell's her name again? They bring her on. I know Glenn Perkins is going to be on for the Twinkies. So he loves Pumpkin Bowl, and he loves the man pigs, as he calls them. And we'll see what happens here when they fire it back up April 2nd here in the great state of Minnesota. I guess they're going to keep the morning show host, but he rented a house. Just get rid of him. Bring in somebody that people know that they can connect with. If you're going to go sports, great. You can compete with K-Fan. They're not that tough. Don't be afraid to call out the clubs, no matter what they say, and take callers and be eventing. So, like I said, 980, whatever. One of their AM stations. What is it? Let me go look real quick here. I think it's 980. I think it is, or 950. It might be 980 is the AM station. I'd make that stronger. I'd make my morning radio. There's plenty of AM stations out there. You can have a good signal. Again, 1500. Jettison ESPN Radio. Bring in Mike Morris. Bring in some people that can talk sports and give the four-letter curse a run for their money. I mean, and also 100. Don't be afraid to speak out against the teams. I'm being mean, but call out the owners for their poor choices. But I don't know. I just living in this town my whole life and watching KQ slowly go down, playing the same stuff over and over again, and just the downfall has been the last 10 years. They don't play rock and roll anymore. They don't play any new stuff. They don't bother to promote it. They used to be always album rock. They'd play deep tracks like 97. Not anymore. Zero F's given. They don't care. They care less. But, no disc jockeys as they reformat what they're going to do on the 92 KQRS. So they claim it to be sports. I just can't see that. I don't know what format they're going to go to. I mean, it's either sports or whatever the hell it's going to be. If it's going to be heavy metal, I don't think so. 93X does that. So there's really, I don't know, not top 40, but just fire the idiots in the morning and bring somebody in that people can connect to. And I'll tell you again, I'll tell you now. It's simple about, hang on a second, I come to a stop here. Comfort food. You know, I like a nice hot beef sandwich, commercial turkey, right, for dinner. You know, when it's, you want soup, you want clam chowder, chicken wild rice, right? I mean, Tommy was good. I enjoyed him. He was funny when it had Sansi and all those guys on there. They're funny. They did bits. But then when his mother died, Tom Bernard had no one to, because his mom listened to him, so he behaved himself. But when his mom died, he became to be an unruly dink and just was a jerk on the radio station. And they finally got rid of the guy. And it kind of reminds me of the Pittsburgh Steelers hanging on to Hamburger Helper, the quarterback, and now they're still shafted. It's the same kind of thing. Sooner or later, you say, guess what? You're out of here. You know, here's your check, move on. But they waited far too long, and then they were held behind. Then they bought, what's his name in? I can't remember what his name is now, but the chick, and it just never worked. It's been bad management from day one. Again, I could run that company tomorrow. Common sense prevails. You know, it's like I don't roll into some station in the middle of New Jersey. I'm from Minnesota and start talking smack. I have no idea what they like. You know, it's what you bring in somebody, you have fun, keep it simple. You go greet people, like I've said, they're your customers. Just like meet and greets in rock and roll or small bands do it all the time. They sign autographs. Chris Isaac was like that. I remember seeing him at a concert in Reno. He'd sign something for you, you'd shake his hand. He was out signing autographs. I'm not big at that. I'm more of a handshake and, hey, thanks for your music. I mean, I've met Jim Schuler, the lead guitarist for George Lucas and Delta Destroyers. Nice man. I've met Billy Blau, all of them. You know, it's great to shake their hands. Go, man, thanks for the work, man. That goes a long ways. But it'll be interesting as they speculate on what they're going to do on KQ92. So, new format, new voices, new direction. What do they always say? You can put a lipstick on a pig, right? You know, you can't change your name. You can't change your life by. It's that Little Reefer Band. You can't change your life by changing your name. Great line in that one song by them, Little Reefer Band. You get lipstick on a pig, as they say, right? So, you know, I don't know. I could grow my hair long, lose weight. If I'm this total raging idiot, that's what I'm going to be. You know, no matter what I do with my appearance, doesn't matter. You got to want to change, and your choices in life. We'll see what kind of choices that these people make when it comes. But I have a feeling they're just going to screw it up again, and you know, no one's going to care. And people have already went over to 93X. They've already gone to other radio stations. They're not going to come back because people licked the undercarriage of Tommy B. They thought he was the greatest thing in the world. So, and after a while, the podcast has gone kind of downhill. I don't think people listen like they used to. You can't listen to the radio. You have to listen on your phone. And like I said, people get in their car. Once they listen to the morning show, then they're done. Then they go listen to other things. But they want to hear information going on in their city. So, anyway, guys, hope you liked the audio here on the way home. And we hope it's the best. And, you know, it's not that tough to run a radio station. Love to buy one, make it into a sports station here in town, hire local people, and rip on all of them out there. And, you know, and praise the running ponytails, whatever, you know. Keep it local. Maybe have a little high school moment. Talk about some high school sports, whatever. Make sure that's out there, too, as well, you know. Go to local Cub Foods as a disc jockey and help them sell Girl Scouts cookies, you know, whatever. You're out in the community and being part of it. So, I don't know. Who am I? I'm just an idiot. Anyways, you guys. So, good luck, KQ. All right? Some of the military. We do need the rain, you guys. We really do. All right? I'll see you here. Thank you so much. for the audio, and thank you for listening. Yahoo, man. See you later.